Hello and welcome to Incredibly Live. Yes, it is true. We are here. We are back again. I'm your host, Joey, joined by the ever so lovely and lively Uchi.
What's happening?
It's been a long day. We got an exciting show for you today. X-Men 97 episode 3 dropped. Good shit all around. It's good shit. It's good shit. For the wrestling fans out there. Yeah, so it should be a good time. But so gonna give a little spoiler warning off the top. We're gonna be spoiling literally everything that happened in X-Men 97 today. So if you didn't get up at 3 a.m. to watch it, or if you didn't watch it over the course of the entire day, it's on you. Sorry, it's been like, was that 20 hours almost?
Listen, I wake up early to watch it, so like it's the first thing I do on Wednesdays now for at least the next 8 weeks. So,
dude, every Wednesday been getting up, got my Cocoa Puffs, my Dragon Ball Z Cocoa Puffs, or Reese's Puffs. Sorry, Dragon Ball Z Reese's Puffs, ready to go with Piccolo on the back. It's a good way to get energized, start the day. Because you know, if it came out Saturday mornings, we'd be in there like somewhere. But we gotta deal with the life of a harsh Wednesday morning for these dropping. It is what it is, you know. It's still good content. So
it's funny you mentioned that though, because everyone on Saturday morning was tweeting about, "Oh, you're gonna watch X-Men 97 again because it's Saturday morning," and everybody was, which I think is so cool. Like, how, and I will keep saying this: X-Men was the only thing we needed to make everything feel so like conjoined and everyone's happy and everything like that. So
it's wild how everybody's finally rallying around something. There's nobody complaining. It's just been good all around. I mean, there's a few people complaining, but we don't care about those people. Fake fans.
Nope, we don't.
Yeah, we don't care about you. Take that negative energy elsewhere. To get right into it, today's episode, titled Flesh by Fire, was focusing around the Madelyne Pryor, Jean Grey, Goblin Queen whole debacle of it all. And the episode started off hot and fast, getting right into it with Madelyne basically coming out and turning the house into basically a living hell for all the inhabitants. We got to see some unseeable, untake-backable things for Gambit, unfortunately. And some other things for Morph as well. And then some stuff for Cyclops as well with the very twisted Charles coming at him, giving him the demerits for for being a bad dad. So we got the fight. Sinister was actually formally introduced now in 97, even though he's basically back again once again from the original show. So it was really cool to see him again. The team is forced to face their darkest fears, and then Madelyne finally proclaims herself as the Goblin Queen, embracing her dark energy after Sinister basically takes over her, forcing the team to fight her. Not before Jean is able to take over her mind and say, "Hey, we're the same. It's you and me, girl. Doesn't matter who Scott loves right now. Both of us are in this." And so they're able to finally subdue Madelyne, or the Goblin Queen, and save baby Nathan, but not before Mr. Sinister is able to disappear. And then we find out that Nathan is infected with the techno-human techno-bio virus and ends up having to get sent to the future, like we figured was going to happen, with Bishop to hopefully save him one day. And then at the very end of the episode, we see Storm connecting with one and only Mr. Forge, presumably somewhere in Texas, as she is trying to figure out what to do now that she's a human. So super action-packed episode. I'm loving the pacing of this series. It's very reminiscent of the 90s series, obviously, but it's like they're just banging out all these plot points to get to the meat, and I'm here for it. So how are you feeling about this episode? What did you like? What didn't you like? We'll just get right into it from there.
I liked everything about it.
Fair, yeah.
That's like an easy way to start. I really do love all the little Easter eggs that you can kind of find. I love how in the intro they change and add a few more little
Uh,
scenes
yes.
to really
Oh,
make you pay
there's a scene
attention.
with, Gambit and Rogue kinda doing a fun little kiss.
Yup, and then we see Lilandra with none other
Yep.
than Charles Xavier. So it's like I've been saying, I'm like, bro, he's not dead. He's not
Mhm.
dead. I'm sure at some point he's gonna come back, whether it's the final episode or whatever. But who knows? The way that the pacing of this shit is going, he could show up next week for all we know. The one thing I don't like is that we have to wait every week.
Amen. Yes.
So
This is the longest week that we've had since, like, Loki. It's been killing me.
yeah, it's gonna suck so bad when this shit is over. Like, aside from Deadpool Wolverine, which funny enough has everything to do with X-Men, of course, right? This is
Yeah,
the year of the fucking
it
X, bro.
is.
I'm telling you. So I think that when this show is done, we are all going to have a humongous hole in all of us, like in our hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a time where everyone's just like, dude, what do we do now? We have to wait till July to see anything with X-Men.
Well, you know
And
what we
like,
do, is we just watch the series again. We just keep watching it.
sure, but it's not the same, man. Like we're getting 10 episodes of greatness. I just
Mhm.
hope that they take whatever like feedback and just overall praise that the show is getting, and they take it to like the higher ups and say, listen, we need to pump out more X-Men stuff. But I hope they don't oversaturated to the point where it's like we find ourselves back to the original issue that we
Yeah,
were having, I suppose, where it's like, people with the fatigue BS and all this crap, and quantity over quality, or yeah, quality over quantity is something
yeah.
that should be practiced anyway. But I at least hope that there's just like a happy medium and like a sweet spot for us to get like more X-Men than, we have to wait however long. Cause it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know, it'll be a surprise if they tell us like, oh, season two's coming out next year,
right.
or like they give us an actual date,
'Cause I'm
or
pretty
if
sure they're
season two
already
is,
working on it, if
well,
not already have it done.
they've been working on it for a while now. And was this a show that also got greenlit for a third season, or am I thinking of Avatar on Netflix, which I probably am.
S Something tells me it got greenlit for a 3rd season, but I know we're for sure getting a 2nd season. I can't imagine it not getting greenlit for
Yeah,
season 3 at this point.
yeah, yeah. I probably am thinking of Avatar, but I think that if they were to give us a third season confirmation, it should come at no surprise,
For
because
sure.
like they announced season two well before we were anywhere close to getting the first episode.
Right.
So to me, that's just like whoever got the early screenings of the first season, they were probably like, this shit's about to go crazy. Just sign them up for season two right off the bat.
Mhm.
So I don't know, but I don't even know what my favorite part of this episode is, to be honest. I just, you don't understand, Joey. I just love the fact that I am waking up to watch brand new X-Men episodes. Can't
It's like we're
complain.
kids again. Yeah. Can't complain.
Yeah.
If you had to give one, do you think you could give a favorite scene from this?
All right. So I'll give you one. All right. I got to give a shout out to the girl, Madelyne Pryor, with her
Mm,
Sailor Moon ass freaking transformation. That, yo, I I forget sometimes that the people that are working on this, they are fantastic animators,
yes.
and they are well in tune with what works, what hits, and they're not afraid to flex and to show all the people that are watching at home like, yo, this might be an animated series of like a comic book, but we're going to add some flair that's
Yes.
going to make this shit way more OD. So when that happened, when she was transforming, I was like, bro, like you knew it was gonna happen, but you didn't know it was gonna happen like that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
especially giving her the more comic accurate outfit too, because a lot of people were speculating, oh, they're gonna tone it down. It was toned down a little bit, but like she looked good. She had like all the legs out and everything, so it was beautiful. It was perfect. And her saying, "I am the Goblin Queen." Oh,
I wasn't
cinema.
expecting that off
Yeah.
rip because
Right.
I low key forgot that she has that name. And when
Mm,
she said that, and then I saw like the green and purple, like fire and flames and aura that she was having, it literally took me directly back to a comic that I started reading the event for, Dark Web. This
mhm.
was like the event that took place in 2023 over the summer, I want to say. They had like a one shot that kind of set things up, but then they really started it um, from spring into summer of last year, 2023. And it's just like this cataclysmic, everything happens in fucking New York. You already know how it
Yeah, of
goes.
course. Yeah.
Say it's like Japan with Tokyo. It's like I
Right.
mean Japan as a whole, they always getting destroyed. Godzilla, Power Rangers, all that, right? But nah, with this, it was an event where Madelyne Pryor and Ben Riley are like the focused bad guys.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm
So
intrigued.
when I saw that, I and she announces herself in that comic as Goblin Queen. And I
Mhm.
was like, when I was reading that back then, I was like, who the fuck is this? Right? I had no idea. Now it's like I'm starting to like educate myself a little bit more on these things.
Right.
There's so much to learn, which makes it,
It's
I
insane.
feel like, more fun in a way because,
Yeah,
I specialize in Dragon Ball and, sometimes that can be a little exhausting after all these years, talking
it's
about it and
true.
everything like that. But, for it is what it is. I still love it. But like diving into this comic book world and now getting to do it through not just the comic books themselves, but with X-Men 97, seeing some of that shit happen. Come on. Like you cannot get any better than this.
Mm-mm. And I will say that was my favorite scene also, was her transforming and all that. And then there's a scene where she's walking down the steps, and as she walks down the steps, each step emanates that ghoulish, green glow, or the
Yeah.
fire coming out of it. So good. Everything with Sinister was fantastic from, especially the scene where she's in the bedroom with baby Nathan, and as she's dealing with this, Sinister calls the house and is like, "Hello, Jean," and then he appears. It was me the whole
All
time,
time.
Austin. And he appears in the background of her while she's on the phone with him. So spooky, such a good way to set him up to bring him back into the fold.
Yeah.
And especially to have Morph be the one that's like freaking the fuck out about everything that's going on. Just perfect. Such a good way to tie everything back in together, especially now that Morph's in here, because there's a scene where we see Morph kind of explain why Sinister is such a deal, and we see him revert back to what he looked like in the 90s.
That was such a cool little
Yeah.
bit of detail, and then when that happened, I literally was like, oh, he looked like he's going back to how he looked in the
Yep.
show. Oh my
And I
god,
think
that
that
was
was like the perfect explanation as to why he changed the way that he looked, because he didn't want to look like that anymore after Sinister did everything that he did to him. So
makes
to all the
sense.
haters, fuck you. Now we now we understand why, right?
Yeah, like that's another thing I love about this show, Joey, is just like everything that has happened or is happening has some sort of a purpose.
Right.
Even when you don't think that there is, they end up surprising us and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh no, actually there's a reason why this has changed or this is this way now or whatever." It's always like a really good reason. Crystal agrees with us though. She also thought that the Goblin Queen scene was like definitely like up there for sure. They introduced a character that betrayed how powerful she was, giving Wanda vibes.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of people are going to draw that connection, and it's going to be really cool if we end up getting Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey. Well, we'll get Jean, but Madeline Pryor in the MCU. If we get an X Men versus MCU to see, I'm sure it'll probably be Jean versus Scarlet Witch. However, that would be sick to see two kind of like dark witches going at it, right?
I don't know why I never even I sometimes my brain has a limit onto what matchups that I never
Yeah,
know I wanna see until, like, it's said, and then it's just, like,
yeah.
unlocked. Like,
Obviously, I want to see that.
dude, Phoenix against the Scarlet Witch? Get the fuck out of here. Madelyne Pryor, even if it was Madelyne or just Phoenix, Dark Phoenix,
Right.
nah. I don't think anybody would be ready for that shit. They would destroy planets.
Literally would destroy the Earth. All right, Kevin, make it happen, bro. I'll give you 10 years. Make it happen. That's the time limit right now. What a great episode. So
Yeah.
we'll take it from the top. The X-Men are all gathered around in the mansion. I will say also, we talked about this last week. Where the fuck are the students? The whole house collapsed into hell, and nobody else is there. It's fine,
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
I think it's always been a thing like that. Like
Yeah.
you don't see actual students unless you're watching like the live action movies.
Yeah.
The movies have a lot of students. They portray it off like that, like where like the Charles Xavier School for Mutants and whatever
Right.
special gifted. I don't remember the actual title, but like it's portrayed better and it gives you that sense of okay, this is like an actual school because they have students
Right.
to fill in those roles to make it feel how it's supposed to be felt. But
Right.
in the series, it's just who you see, and
Yeah.
that's basically it, you know. So that's something that it's of course it's an easy running joke. Like, where the fuck are all the students?
Yeah, where
And
the kids
Deadpool
at?
made that shit in his movie. He made that joke too. He's
Yeah.
like
And then
I'm in this big mansion. Where is everybody?
slowly closes the door on.
That part was funny. Oh
So
my
good.
god.
All right, so they're in the mansion. Figure out there's 2 genes. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Beast decides to start running some tests. Figures out that the gene that showed up is the real gene. Her cells, her DNA, her carbon makeup is older than that of baby mama Jean, as
Right.
we knew what she was.
Right.
She starts freaking out. Everybody starts freaking out. Scott is showing shades of comic Scott, where he's like, "Well, if this is the real Jean, this is who I want to be with. I don't want to be with you, Madelyne, Goblin Queen, Jean 2." And so we see that their family dynamic kind of start to fall apart, which we were wondering last week if they were really going to adapt that, because that's kind of a little controversial just to have the dad leave and then have Madelyne with the kid all alone. But I think they wrapped that up pretty nicely. Everybody kind of goes off and does their own thing. Wolverine is left alone with Beast in the lab, and Jean comes to, and Logan is there trying to calm her down.
He's trying to scoop too.
He's trying. He was so that was what I was going to ask is, do you think he was trying to get in there, or was he just trying to bring her back? Because this is some discourse right now.
Listen, it's a little bit of both. All right.
I agree. Yeah.
There's no way. Like I've always been the type of kid where I was like, why not both? Like, why do I have to be on one side of the fence? Why can't I just enjoy what I want to enjoy? Right. I'm not team Pokemon, team Digimon. I'm fucking team both mon. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's literally so we already know the history Logan has with Jean. They got feelings. She has something for him too. There's proof. You go back and watch the original, there's moments where she's just like, I have to go. Like she's like hesitant. She doesn't let him down like fully. She has feelings for him too. Even though, she does the right thing and she doesn't like lead him on too much or whatever, and she stays with Cyclops. They get married, they do the whole 9 and everything like that, right? So like here, Logan is he it's not even just that he has the hots for her, like he actually loves Jean Grey.
He's in love with Jean.
He is in love with this woman, right? And he's gonna do anything that he can for her, especially if she's in a time of need. This is apparently the real version. Of course, he's gonna try to like do whatever he can to help her come to. So it's because he cares. But I mean, if she was to admit something to him in that moment, right then and there, he wouldn't have backed off. He would have taken that. And then if Cyclops walked in and be like, "You got something to say, bub?" you know what I'm saying? Like he would have scooped it if given the chance, especially during this whole confusing period where it's like, well, it's like you got that gene, so I guess I'll take this one type shit. You know what I'm saying?
You had kids with that one, bub. This one's mine.
Yeah. It's like you already knocked that one up, bub. Like some shit. Some dumb shit like that.
Right. Yeah, that was my first thought. I was kind of like, oh my god, is he really about to do this? Because he's like, these feelings have been here the whole time, and then she finally comes to. So, very interesting choice, I will say, to have Wolverine be the one to bring her to, because we see later, Jean and Scott are in their room, but what's left of their room, and they're kind of just at odds. They're like, well, now what do we do? You just had a kid with another woman. Um, there's another me. I've been dead apparently for how long now?
Right.
Sinister's been doing whatever with me. So a lot
Yeah.
going on, very messy. I love how much this show feels like a soap opera. Like, every moment of the show feels like it could be ripped out of Days of Our Lives, and it's the best. Like,
There's a lot of drama.
oh, it's I guess when everybody lives in a house together like this, it's like the real world or anything like that. It's just stuff is bound to happen.
Real world X-Men.
Yeah. Real Housewives of Charles Xavier's
Hmm.
mansion for kids. So, yeah, I'm glad that you were catching those vibes too, because that was like, oh
Easy.
my goodness, yeah. And speaking of vibes, we then roll into everybody starts kind of freaking out as the mansion starts collapsing. Gambit, this guy has been put through the freaking ringer
Poor
over the
guy.
past couple episodes. Walks in, sees some crazy green light coming out of what we're assuming is probably Magneto's office or Jean's room or whatever. Right after, Morph is making fun of him on the fact that Magneto and Rogue have the danger room blocked out for like the next foreseeable future
It's
together.
Bro, I did not expect that. Listen, they had like a 2-hour block. A
Yeah.
4-hour block.
Okay.
The next day?
Yeah.
Oh nah.
And the next day and the
And
next
the
day. It
next
was like, bro.
that's so sus.
Yeah, so
They're
sus. But we know they have a past. There's just too much chemistry. I'm sure Rogue's got pent up energy. Probably. Definitely. As we've seen from the last episode. So a lot going on there. Gambit walks in. They're like literally melding together. It's literally everybody's hell on earth is coming to fruition. And then
yeah.
we see Morph dealing with who we think is Logan in the shower, who turns out to be basically Mr. Sinister. So very interesting there. I kind of like the idea, this like friendship, if we want to call it that, between Morph and Logan that we have going on in the show. But I also love how much of Morph we're getting to see with everything with Sinister going on, because he's been so absent from the rest of the show. So to finally give him some time in the limelight has been really nice.
I'll add that as far as like, Morph's character and just like all the
Yeah.
characters in general, like this show has been doing a really fantastic job with actually giving all of the characters on the team like some sort of shine and time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And that's like really important, and that's like a challenge, because like you have to manage everybody that's on screen
Mm.
and give them moments so that fans and the audience can see what they're about and to relate to them, or to just to get to know them more and to form some sort of relationship, so that way when you go out of the episode, you like, you remember them for what they are.
Yeah.
And I think that this show does that so well. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Everybody
crazy
has so much personality and
yes,
relatability.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you connect with them, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and that's super important, and, like, obviously, Morph being a part of of this squad, you're getting to feel how he is. And even, characters like Bishop, where they keep him reserved, and I feel like that's by design, because
Yeah, I
he's
agree.
from the future, he's not really supposed to be here, and, I mean, quite literally, he leaves by the end of the episode,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I think well, Bishop actually got highlighted in the fight here. He's like,
yeah.
Cyclops hit me, and he just blasts him with everything he got, only to turn around and just hand cannon, use his psionic powers to obliterate all the demons. That shit was so cool.
Dude,
Every fight scene so
X-Men
far
is
has been amazing.
fucking godlike, dude. Like, wait until their first official movie comes
Uh,
out. That shit is nah.
yeah. Deadpool's only gonna scratch the surface. It's gonna be like a sprinkle
That's
of
gonna
it.
be a pretty big
Yeah,
surface.
I know.
Fuck, bro.
I'm so ready, because like every fight scene in this has been really good so far. I really haven't been disappointed. Everybody's been able to get to showcase a lot of their abilities because, like, in the first episode, Bishop and Storm kind of get mopped fairly easily, which I thought was a little interesting, but it's because of the radiation guns that they had, the anti-mutant guns that the
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
FOH had. And so then the Storm got her comeuppance later with the Sentinels, really get to wipe
Sentinels.
them all out. And so now Bishop's kind of getting his go. But I had the feeling we're going to see more of Bishop. I'm assuming in the future as Cable comes to become Cable, we'll see. We'll probably see more Bishop and how that all unfolds.
Oh, yeah, we
Um,
saw his sister again. I forgot, Shard, I think her name is?
yes.
Yeah, so
The
even
as
Bishop gets his time a
well,
little bit.
she that what was that? That was because of Sinister pulling. I'm assuming pulling memories and kind of
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
"This is your own hell," right? Like, where were you, Bishop? So now he's back. Thank God. Thank you, Beast. So really, I love how much they are doing in this show and setting up for the future because it doesn't feel like there's a moment of wasted time. And I feel like
Right.
this is kind of the complaint I had with What If was that it didn't feel like it was able to breathe. And so it felt like everything was so fast paced. But with this show, it feels like it's breathing as it's going. Like it's continuing, it's being able to continue moving and setting up new plot points and concluding old plot points all while it doesn't feel like you're being overwhelmed. It's not too fast paced. It's not too slow. It's like the perfect mix.
It's just right.
Um, it's literally just right. It's the Goldilocks of of animation.
Yes, sir.
And who knows? Maybe I'm heard rumors that Marvel higher ups are like, we need to capitalize on this. What else can we do? So who knows? Maybe Spider Man, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four. We'll see in the future.
Spider-Man 98, where you at?
Soon
Yeah,
enough.
stop.
Soon enough, bro.
If I listen. This show is gonna get a 10 out of 10 from me. Doesn't
Mm,
matter.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm telling you right now, Joey. If I hear the original Spider-Man voice actor, if I hear his voice, if I hear the, if I hear any of that, if I hear any of that shit, bro, it's a wrap. I'm telling you,
On site.
DC needs to sell the rights. Sony
Mm,
needs to sell their rights. If that happens, game over. Game over. The
Marvel
comic
wins.
book industry, Marvel wins.
I think it's closer than we think it is. I think with the success of this, it's only a matter of time. So we'll see.
Keep going.
Yeah. All
I
right.
don't want to
All
be
right.
stuck
All
on
right.
this.
Okay. So we already talked about the fight with Madelyne. Really cool. She was kind of like she got back into the head of Morph and was able to turn Morph into
So Morph turned into magic,
magic.
which
That's
is
who it was. Yes.
Illy something. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't pronounce her name now for
Yes.
some reason. I was just
Yep.
me and Crystal were just talking about this, dude. Okay, this is a little creepy on for us, right?
Okay.
Crystal and I just finished watching New Mutants.
Mm.
Guess what's in there?
Magic.
Yes,
Yeah.
the new game that the new PvP
Liliana.
free to play Marvel
Yeah.
Rivals.
Oh yeah,
Who's
she's
in
in that
there?
shit too. Yep.
What's going on here?
They're pushing her.
Ileana, thank you. That's what it is.
Liliana. Yes. Yes. It was very cool to see, not cool to see, but it was interesting to see how Morph was able to be like overcome so quick from Mr. Sinister. So it was really interesting that they actually got to like kind of wrap that up a little bit, really tie him into the storyline more. Cause I think we knew that he was gonna be that Sinister was gonna be like the big bad of this season. It was just kind of getting set up to be that way.
Yeah.
And then we come to see Sinister's got Nathan in a jar and it is prepping him to become the ultimate mutant killer, mutant whatever. So we got to talk about Storm and Forge. End of the episode, Storm is just kind of chilling at a bar. Dude comes up to her, says, "Hi, my name's Forge. I'm a friend of Professor Xavier. Let's have a chat." So I went today and I read Life Death because I wanted to see what everything was about.
Yo, good for
Um,
you. Let's
Thank you.
go.
It was
Let's
it was
go.
beautiful. I needed to know because I love Storm. I
How
was just
long
like
was it?
It is a double guy. So it's 41. The first issue of it, of Life Death, is 41 pages,
Okay.
I believe. But
That's
then
like a
there's like
one shot, healthy one shot
yeah,
length right
but it
there.
spans 3 issues. The complete, story kind of spans
Okay,
3 issues.
nice.
But Storm does not get her powers back within those 3 issues. It's just kind of Storm coming to terms with everything that happens. So Forge saves her after she gets shot by a gun that he created, for Gyrick.
Yeah, that's how
Yes.
that's how it originally goes, is that something he created is the reason why she
Mhm.
lose her powers, but in that story, don't they, like, fall in love? Like, they get into it?
So, what happens in the comics is that, originally the gun was designed to stop these wraiths that were ravaging the area, whatever they're ravaging Earth. It's a very interesting plot line. I kind of didn't understand because I kind of jumped right into just to life death.
Mhm.
But the gun was originally supposed to be used to destroy them, to sap their magic. But then they wanted to use the gun on Rogue to zap Rogue's powers. But then the gun ended up being used on Storm, which was not the original intention. Forge was like, no, this isn't how it's supposed to be. Garrick was like, don't care, shoots her. He saves her, takes her back to his pad in Texas. And then he's like, let me help you. I can help you. They start falling in love. Then she realizes that he was the one that created the gun. So then she's all like, I'm not doing this. I'm out, blah, blah. But all the while, she's kind of finding herself again throughout the course of the story. It's very good. Definitely go read it if you haven't. And so basically, not Rogue. Well, Rogue does come. So basically, Storm is there. All this stuff starts happening. Rogue and Colossus show up to help her save the day. And then
Mm.
a bunch of actually, like a whole bunch of mutants end up showing up. So, all that to say, next episode, we're going to find out a lot more about who Forge is, about what's going on. So, do you have any predictions for next episode? Because I know so far there's been a few twists and turns to how the stories have gone from manga to X-Men 97. So I'm interested to see what you think is where we're going to see coming up next.
Yeah, so based on how the pacing is, I wouldn't I wouldn't put it past them to surprise us and give us Storm regaining her powers so
Mm,
fast.
yeah,
Now, I'm not saying I want that to immediately happen, but I wouldn't be surprised either because again, their pacing is impeccable. It's
it's
ridiculous.
it's crazy.
Like I didn't think we were gonna get Mr. Sinister by this episode, and we did. I didn't think we were
Yeah,
gonna be sending baby Nathan Cable up to the future so
right
soon,
away. Yeah.
right? I'm like, bro, what? And like this whole clone thing, like I've been so conditioned in feeling that based on how other shows handle their pacing, things are spread out. Things are like, like elongated and
Yes.
sometimes it feels like they're stalling and all this shit. And it's unfortunate, but it just goes to show you like what the kind of media that we've been exposed to for a long period of time to now getting something of actual quality and seeing how it should be. And it's just like, bro, this is insane.
Yeah.
So I think for Storm's sake, I feel like that she should definitely get her powers back, but I feel
Yeah.
like it needs to be epic.
I
So I
agree.
don't if it was up to me, I wouldn't want her to get her powers back by the end of episode 4.
Yeah.
If they go as far as like she goes through this whole thing and like they show you that there's some established relationship going on between her and Forge and then she's off screen for
Mhm.
like a bit. We don't see her, we don't
Yeah.
get no progress updates. And then whatever happens later on in the show, they're fighting Sinister, whoever it is, and they're on the ropes. And all of a sudden, Storm comes back in the most anime epic
Just
fucking from the skies and there's thunder and everything. Dude, everyone's gonna lose their shit. If
yeah.
if Storm was not your like one of your favorite X-Men characters, she will be now.
Oh, for sure. So we know a few things. So next episode is called Motendo / Life Death. So there's been a teaser that's been put out for episode 4, where it's the 16-bit kind of teaser. What we know is that Sunspot and Jubilee get zapped into a video game on Jubilee's birthday, I believe. And so most part of the episode is in 16-bit. So it's going to
That's
look like
hilarious.
old games. Meanwhile, Storm is with Forge in Texas doing their thing. Then episode 5, I believe, is, I don't remember what it's titled right now. But then episode 6 is Life Death Part 2. So I have the feeling Storm will not be getting her powers back next episode. It's going to be setting up for the future.
Yeah, good.
Because then the last 3 episodes of the season it's a 3-parter. It's all one big thing. So
from what it sounds like they're going to give these 2 newfound relationships some time to build up.
Yes.
Because like I think it's quite literal how they're dividing the episode title into 2 halves, where you have Sunspot and Jubilee that are clearly gonna be a thing. And as we know, based on comic book history, Storm and Forge are supposed to be a thing. So now we're gonna see those 2 relationships kind of flesh themselves out.
Yep.
And I love that. I really do. But I'm not gonna lie, that 3-parter that's gonna happen towards the end of the dude. It's gonna be a crazy time, man.
And those episodes are called Tolerance is Extinction. So
nah.
God. Yeah.
We gotta move on. We have to move on.
We're about to see some Magneto craziness. Charles may be coming back. Yep. Gonna don that helmet. Gonna fuck everybody up. How many weeks away is that? Too many?
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude. If he puts the helmet back on, but he has the whole white fit. Any variation is gonna go crazy. It's fucking Magneto.
Yeah. That's all the time we got for today. You can find all our socials down in the description below. Please subscribe, like the video if you haven't already, and ring that bell to stay notified about everything we got coming up. Uch, where can people find you?
Links in the description, guys. Make sure you're hitting those up. Link trees and all that. Twitter, TikTok. I mean, everything's in there. So use the description because it's there. And obviously you'll see us right here on Incredibly. So what's up?
Yes, sir. We'll be right back here next week, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our instant reaction-ish breakdown discussion of episode 4. We are so excited. Motendo / Life Death. Gonna be a good one. Gonna be a certified banger, probably.
They're all
Storm-centric. Yeah, this is true. Storm-centric episode. But anyway, I've been Joey. He's been Uch, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.
See ya.